Oh, boys. So, video is going to be about Nikon for a bit. I wanted to talk about why Nikon is not popular. Basically, like when you see those videos, those YouTube story shorts, and people are all like a photo shoot collaboration thing, a bunch of you there'll be like one guy doing like a YouTube short saying, "Hey, what system do you use? Hey, what system do you use? Hey, what system do you use? Hey," and then they'll all just be like Canon and Sony for some reason. Never Nikon, never well, like there's going to be like the two occasional Fujis, but it's never anyone else for some reason. And I thought, you want to there has like you want to know how Nikon, which is a cool company by the way. You want to know how Nikon can stand out somehow finally is they find their niche, right? Like one of the reasons why people like Seiko watches and why they've gotten so popular nowadays was the SKX. Everybody has had an SKX before if they like watches, you know what I mean? But they discontinued those. But anyways, but like everybody, but the SKX was, this is not one, but like the SKX was like the watch that you thought about when you thought about a Seiko, right? When you thought about a Seiko, you thought about an SKX first in your head. When you think of a Rolex, what do you think of? A Submariner. What else do you think of? When you think of an Omega, what else do you think of? Seamaster or Speedmaster. What else do you think of? Nothing. You don't think of a Railmaster. You think of a frickin' Seamaster. And so Nikon has to sort of find their place when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like, back in the SLR film stock days, Nikon was known, I think, as one of the top brands. Like everybody, if you had the money, you would buy a Nikon because they were so expensive and had some of the best glasses, like out of anyone. They had tremendous glass. But if you were a working man, you'd buy a Canon. But or anyone else, I think. But also Pentax is great. Has great lenses too. I have a little my old Pentax 50 mil. This is what I use a lot. But they have to sort of find their niche like that, you know? It's like in my head, what would the perfect Nikon be? Okay, it has to compete with an A7 IV. Okay, so like not like obviously most brands nowadays they all have like a really good autofocus. So they just have to have a good autofocus. They have to have a lot of the basic features that an A7 IV has to have. I mean, the A7 IV has. They have to have all those basic features first, and they have to also be like a slight. But they have to be like a little less money. So you'd be like, oh, what should I get? The A7 IV, or should I get the Nikon? Because it like is a little less money, but it's just as good, right? And they have to have as good of glass as a G Master. That's what I think as well. They have to have as good of glass as a G Master, but only a couple $100 less. That'll make you stand out, right? Like, that will make you stand out so much. But, anyways. But what would amplify that even more and make Nikon stand out more than anyone else, more than ever before, and what will make Nikon shake up the entire camera market would be if they partnered up with Kodak, right? This will be their time when they go after Fuji. They'll pair up with Kodak and do the exact same thing, and they will have film simulations just like Fuji. But this is where it gets interesting, right? They will put this on all of their cameras just like Fuji, but they will have all these films, Kodak film simulations, and even more interest. Like they're gonna like add a bunch of interesting stuff, and so then they're going after Fuji, right? So then people will be like, I really want a Fuji film, right? Because it has those film simulations, and it's really fun and cool. Or, but should I get the Nikon? Because that I could just spend a little bit more, and I can get a full frame with those Kodak film simulations, right? Because then people are going to start switching to Nikon because they want the full frame, because Fuji doesn't do full frame. And then once they start taking money, getting people buying into Nikon's ecosystem, that'll force Fuji to maybe even have to reevaluate, hey, should we make a full frame or not? Because Nikon's eating into our frickin' they're eating into our people who buy our they're eating into our customers. So that's what I think Nikon should do. It sounds very like over the top, but like it's just like I don't think anyone thinks about Nikon anymore. At least, like, they're just not the mainstream company. You either think about, like, when you ask people what they use, they're either using A7 IV or a Canon. I don't know Canon models. R5 or something. They're probably using a frickin' A7 IV or an R5, something like that, you know? Don't come at me if that's, like, not even the highest end one that people actually use. But, like, you know what I mean, right? Like, most people are not using anything else than that. Mainstream, like most photography people. They're using either one of those two. So, but what Nikon can do, compete against Sony with really good glass and a really good system, like a camera body that stands out, is like, this is our trooper, this is our frontline camera body that like most people are going to probably want to buy for like this is going to be our most ambidextrous camera body that people are going to do whatever with, you know what I mean, like an A7 IV. And then they're going to have really good glass when you're going to buy both of them and buy a whole system, like a camera body and the highest end glass, highest end lens, it's going to be round out to be slightly cheaper than buying the Sony system. And they're going to compete against Fuji by doing that film simulations thing, but they're going to do it with Kodak instead. So that is how I think Fuji and then that'll force Fuji to even also have to rethink about whether or not they'd have to go full frame, because then Nikon would start eating into their customers' hearts and making them think, but Nikon has the Kodak film simulations and I could get full frame. So that's what I think, right? That would be the ultimate comeback. They just need to have, like, you know, good hardware, good hardware that competes against like a Sony, and good software that competes against a Fuji. I don't know, Canon is good old Canon, I bet, right now. I don't know much about Canon. But yeah, whatever. But that's been this video. And what do you guys think? What are extra things? What are extra things that you think that Nikon could do that could make them bump back into the mainstream market of like like what customers mostly get and buy into? What are ideas that you guys think down below? What Nikon could do that can make them stand out again, and like do like what could they do in the market? What could they adapt to and everything? I want to see it in the comments below. And if you like this video as well, or were entertained by it, like the if you found it at least entertaining, right? I'd like to like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, that's been this video. I had fun um, um, theorizing while making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. But see you guys. Peace. Hold on, editing version of myself. I also forgot to mention, I think Nikon also should probably buy into doing more of these, I have this one right here. Looking more like cameras looking more um stylishly uh old, like retro more. Like I think that they did one like that a while ago too. Like here it is. Looks like it's called the Nikon DF or Nikon ZF or something like that. Yeah, ZF, retro inspired mirrorless camera, full frame. It's like they need to buy into more of this design as well. And this thing has got the worst grip ever. Like they need to make that a full freaking like handle, like a freaking handlebar. Like make that thing freaking bigger instead of resorting to a freaking attachment just to have a freaking grip. But yeah, and that you'd be able to freaking house more technology in it more. But yeah, they need to buy more into this design language. You see, and not they need it because people love that romanticism of old SLRs. Just the way they look, they're just so much sexier. I mean, look at how blobby and weird freaking Canons look versus what they used to look like. They're kind of odd. Let me go show you mine. Here it is right here. I'm trying to sell it, but like here it is. Look at this. Sexy. Look at that old Canon logo. Woo! Whoa! AT1. People love this. People love the way this looks. People love this style. People love that when they also get into buying Fujifilms cameras. They love that retro look. And if Nikon did this Kodak simulations thing and more went to, functionality, and like look at this ZF thing. This is Nikon ZF retro inspired. This thing needs a big ass grip though. Like Nikon, you cannot do this. You need this thing to have a big boy grip. Like heck, man. And not this stupid attachment piece crap. Like this attachment thing, this is dumb. It needs a big grip. Put some more technology in there as well with the extra grip or whatever. But yeah, that's what I think Nikon should do. They should just try to shift towards more of this retro look and pair up with Kodak. But that's about it. See ya.